Everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we're going to be talking about a game that is coming to GameFound. And, when I think about the company Elzera, I always think of Catacombs and all the things that they were able to do with that, and how over the years they have built this game into like this unbelievable dexterity dungeon crawl masterpiece. And it really is a masterpiece. Now, they could have rested on their laurels and they could have done Catacombs 2. But they came out earlier this summer, around Gen Con, they came out with Monster Pit, which was another fantastic game that was just kind of outside of their box of what they're used to. And Aaron West, who is absolutely brilliant, the whole company over and everybody that works over at Elzera, the beauty, the theme, how they suck you into things, do a fantastic job. And they could have just built more Catacomb stuff and just been happy, but no, they are coming to GameFound with something that I consider very, very different, unique, special, beautiful, and everything you can want out of a war game. And it's called Battlefields. Now we're going to go down and we're going to go take a look at this. I'm not going to explain all the rules. Everything that you're going to see is in Prototype. And my God, the stuff that they have in Prototype, you could put in a box and sell right now to show the care, the passion, and everything that they put into things. So without further ado, we're going to go down. We're going to take a look. I'm going to show you a few things, how different this is, and yet how similar it is to some other things. So we're definitely going to go take a look at it. Why don't we do that right now? And then I'll see you on the other side where I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this. Okay, so I'm not going to go over every rule here, but I want you to get a good feel for this. The components, you're going to get a two-part neoprene map, which is just absolutely beautiful for a prototype. Okay, and you have these health rings around here. This is one of the things that I really like about this, is that you have these health rings, and you're going to know how much health a particular unit has. Okay, once you use a unit, you can turn it over, and these little things mean that it's already been used. So it's easy to keep track of everything. You're going to have different types of dice according to your cards that you'll be using. The red is the most powerful. Next comes the yellow, and then the blue and the white. The white and yellow are the same. They are the next one down. This is a healing die. This here is in case you don't want to flick. So say you don't want like the dexterity part of a game. Well, you can use this die instead, and that will help you with your flick ability and how far it goes and so forth and so on, instead of flicking it. So you kind of want to you have a choice, so you don't have to use the dexterity part of this game. The cards are beautiful and of course break everything down. First of all, let me get over here. Yep. So you're going to have different types of things in your army. On this side here is when you're at full health. When you go down to a certain health, you are going to be in this zone right here. Okay. And with the skeleton archer, as you can see, you go from when you take damage, you are going to be using your wounded stats instead of your full stats. Now there are ways that you can get healed, depending on your necromancer, who is just creepy to begin with. And the art is absolutely beautiful on this. You have health. You're going to have what type of die you're going to use. That's going to be a white die there, and there are different colors here to signify certain things. You're also going to have accuracy. That's how close you have to come to a hex. Some characters have it, some don't. Your movement each turn, okay? And then, of course, your range. Range is very important. Now, for instance here, we have a Spartan who is right here, okay? And we're going to say that the Paladin has his turn. Now, not only do you have the skeletons, but you have unbelievable units here for the good guys here. Battle tanks, Amazons, Wyvern riders. I mean, there's such a variance And there's so many tokens, and you could put out just so many different types of units. The Royal Archers, which are cool, the Fire Mage, and then on the bottom here, you're going to have an ability that you could possibly use. And you're going to be playing, and normally you would have this filled, the first 3 hexes on this side, you will be putting out your units, and usually you'll have a value at which that you are going to decide what you're going to play at, because there's a couple of different variances that you could play the game at. You could just play, you could play the Mightiest Winds, Annihilation, eliminate the enemy commanders. Yes, you have enemy commanders here, which are another thing in bigger tokens and so forth and so on. But for the most part, you're going to start with you're going to get 10 points that you're going to put out in the Mightiest Winds. The object is to get 10 or more victory points. Depending on what you put out and with reinforcements and so forth and so on. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going through different phases. For instance, the first phase is going to be the command phase. This is where you are going to do your unit activation, okay? For this instance, we're going to activate the Paladin here. Now, according to our Paladin, which I'm going to put that right there, he has, basically, he can move up to two hexes. So we're going to go 1, 2, okay? He has a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Okay, so we can take a shot and try to hit him. You're going to put this here, okay? That's going to keep the dice from going pretty much everywhere, but it still is very inaccurate. Now, for instance here, he has a red die, so we're going to try to hit with a red die. Sorry about hitting the camera, folks. And what we're going to do is, I did it. I went right in there and I hit. And I did a 6, which is a special. So I'm going to do 6 damage to him, which is pretty incredible. And I'm going to I'll be able to defeat this unit. Now, for instance, let's just say that we did 1, okay? Well, 2, okay? He has a health of 4, okay? So we would turn this down, and that would be the end of the Paladin's turn, and we would turn this over. He would in turn get his chance to go, okay, because you only activate 1 unit at a time going back and forth. And he would say, well, you know something, turnabout is fair play. Let me see if I can move a little closer. He has 1 movement, and to hit, it's 1, 2. That's not far enough, so he can't take a shot. So you've got to be very strategic in what you do. Say, for instance, that he said, wow, I got hit real bad there. I got 2 damage. I want to go backwards. Well, if you want to retreat, well, that's going to cost you a health as well. So that's something that you have to look out for. During your command phase, you are going to have a movement action, an attack action, or you can do both. Okay, you could do one. You could just move. You could just attack, or you can do both. Okay, then comes the reinforcement phase. Now, say we killed this guy and he was a certain level. Say he's level 2. All right, I can trade this guy in and give it back to my opponent and get 2 reinforcement points, which means I can spend anywhere for anything that costs a level 2 or anything like that, and bring it into the game to try to help me achieve my goal of getting 10 victory points. You're going to, every time you defeat something, you're going to get a number of victory points. But you can use your reinforcement, you can use your units to trade them in and actually get reinforcements to bolster your army with. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Then at the end is a refresh phase where you're just going to flip everything over depending on where you're at. And you're going to continue with the next and following turn, trading the first player marker. The dice have special abilities, which we're not going to cover here because you're going to roll things and you'll be able to do specials and things like that. There's a lot of strategy and a lot of variance here. And again, you don't have to use the dexterity part of it and you can also just use a die if you want to do that and just play this game as a basic strategic game with no dexterity. There's also an AI here that you can play solo, which also is another fantastic thing that I've been delving into. And for a prototype, this thing is just ridiculous. And you're going to see that this is something that you're really going to want to get behind, because if there's one company that does something right, it's Elzera. And I've never played a game of theirs that I considered bad, ever. They've always put out quality, beauty. The art is tremendous. I mean, I love this Cannon Guardian. My goodness. And the sentries and the battle tanks. You know, there's just so much variance. And the paladins, well, they're kind of dialed down a little bit, but kind of I do like them very much. And then with all the special abilities, there's just so much replayability and strategy here. And you know something, they set this up that, you know, once this fun's on GameFound, I guarantee you there's going to be some expansions for this, different armies and the replayability, different maps, and all this other stuff. It just has everything that you want. That if you are a seasoned war gamer, I think you're going to really like. But if you have a younger child that you want to break into, this is the perfect experience for it. And I'm going to talk more about that up top. So without further ado, let's head up top. I'll give you my final thoughts and then we'll get on out of here. Now, I'm a massive war game player. I love war games. I love Battle Lore. I love the games from GMT. I love all types of different types of fantasy battle games. This is really unique because of some of the things that it does. And it really stands out. Now, you're thinking, oh, geez, okay, it's just another flick game. No, it's not another flick game, because you're not flicking units. You're actually flicking the dice. And there's a section in here that it comes with an additional die where you don't even, if you don't want to do the dexterity part at all. It is a great balanced war game. And the thing I like about it, it has this thing where it's good enough for people like myself who are experienced war gamers, but it also has this very light-hearted and very easy to understand mechanics that you can have younger people, people that haven't played any war games. You can bring them into it and teach it to them, because first of all, the art is absolutely beautiful. Okay. And it's something that a younger person is not going to get scared of, where if they're playing skeletons or something like that, or if they're playing the other side, they're playing the knights facing the skeletons, they are absolutely going to love, you know, the beauty of the art, and they're going to become very immersed in it. They can either do the dexterity part where you're flicking dice instead of the units, or they can roll the dice to determine hits. I think this is brilliant. I think this is fantastic. You're going to want to check it out. I don't have the date when it's coming out on GameFound, but I promise you this, I will make sure that I get that information as soon as I get it. This is beautifully crafted for a prototype, of course. And this is just Elzera giving you what they always done. Top quality, just theme and heart and passion in everything that they do. And they do it very well. And they have done it for a very long time. It took me forever to get Catacombs. And boy, now that I have it, me and my grandson, we have so much fun. Even my granddaughter, who doesn't get into this kind of stuff, has fun playing this stuff. They have built a universe that is absolutely beautiful, absolutely wonderful, and I suggest you go over to GameFound when they do it. Support this, bring this in. You're going to absolutely love this. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.